May 7th, 2001, at approximately 1 o'clock p.m. Welcome, members, again. Senator, folks should know that obviously we're virtual, and I believe there's live stream and other technical ways to take in the committee meeting today, or the conference committee meeting. Members, what's happened so far, and Chair Hansen, welcome again to the committee. You did receive my offer yesterday, and at 10 minutes to 5 yesterday, I received your offer. I have a feeling only that I gave it a 5 o'clock deadline that I received it, and it was quite obvious because it was really quite taken back by the offer that I did get, and I think everybody's got a copy of it. Frankly, it deals with not necessarily policy or finances. It just deals with something other than that. So very insulting, quite frankly. The Senate offer made with concession in the House directed on 3 different items. I think very important items. Would you explain to me, Mr. Chair, to where your office has made some kind of a compromise on this particular sheet? Can you explain that to me, or maybe you can have legal explain what it is?
Well, thank you, Mr. Chair. And I think for the record, we have to take a roll call.
Oh, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
If your staff could take the roll.
Senator Ingebrigtsen.
Here.
Senator Rude.
Rude, present.
Senator Westrom. Senator Westrom.
Mr. Chair, how are you?
Senator Tomasoni.
Here.
Senator Eichhorn.
Eichhorn present.
Representative Hansen.
Here.
Representative Fisher.
Fisher, present.
Representative Morrison.
Morrison, present.
Representative Wozlowick.
Wozlowick, present.
Representative Heinzman.
Present.
Okay, members, we do have a quorum, and I think Senator Westrom, I'm not sure if he answered, but I know he's on here. I do see he's muted, but I do see him on here. Getting back, Representative Hansen, Chair Hansen, I just want to emphasize something that's really changed, and you along with the other members know that we only have 3-hour meetings. You know, it isn't like the old days when we could sit around for hours and hours upon hours and legislate. We have really a tight time frame, it seems to me. So I just want to remind you and members that we really need to move this along. We have about 10 days total, probably 8 days before we really have to be able to come to a resolve on this bill. So the Senate made an offer, made concessions in the House direction on 3 different items. Would you explain, please, exactly what your offer is, so our members can understand what it is? And I think everybody has a copy of it.
Sure, Mr. Chair. I'll start from the last one first. You had recommended that you would accept the Elkins bill on motorized bicycles, and we responded that has already been agreed to in the Transportation Committee under same and similar, so that's being carried there. So we didn't feel that was an actual that's already has been adopted in another conference committee. The second one to the middle proposal on ours is that we wait until we receive targets, which I think is realistic. I think targets have not been set, so it's very difficult for us to do the fiscal items until those targets are set. And I think you and I are in agreement that we'd like to see where the federal money is, because I believe, and I think you believe, there are components within both of our bills that could be funded with federal money. At least I believe that there's things that could be funded with federal money. And it doesn't make sense to agree on an appropriation and then find out that it could have been funded with federal funds. The first item was following up that, and I agree with you, Senator Ingebrigtsen, that we don't have much time left. So my approach is that our approach on the House is that let's start taking pieces of it. We have different articles. It seems like the easiest piece that we could get done was the Environment and Natural Resources Trust Fund. There's a reason why that could be done. That is that it is constitutionally dedicated. It is separate funds. It should not be used to supplant any of additional funds that are in the general budget. So there's a reason for treating that separately and rationally. And I think we're very close on that. We walked through the bill yesterday, and I think there's relatively few differences where both in what we would call the 2020 and the 2021 bill that we could do those. And we're prepared today to negotiate those bills right here in the next 3 hours and hopefully come to a conclusion on those so we would be done. And then we would have those off of our list. Tomorrow, we could perhaps deal with the volumes of policy that are there that are not financial and see if we can come to some agreements. And then just related back to your offer, today at noon, the administrative law judge affirmed the authority and the process for the administration's clean car rule. And I think that that is an important component and ruling on this, that what the governor has done is sound. So those discussions, this was a House offer, not a House and administrative offer. I think the LCCMR, Senator Ingebrigtsen, you and I serve on it. It's a legislative body. They made those recommendations, and I think we could work out our differences today and get that done. And, I mentioned that we could set that separately, or we could get it done and include it so that when we get the policy done, and hopefully we get the targets very soon, we can get that done. But rather than holding it all up until the end and waiting for the targets, I think we could get some of these components done without much difficulty.
Okay, Representative Hansen, with regards to the administrative law judge decision, I'm very well aware of that. That just came out. And frankly, I was never, and I don't think anybody's ever questioned whether it was legal for the governor to move forward with that. And that's what that was. That was an administrative judge ruling on whether he had the authority to do it. It does not alter the power of the legislature to adopt a state position on clean cars. I had that discussion with the commissioner just a couple of days ago. So she knows where we still stand on that. A decision can be made to put it on a 2-year waiting period, and that's the offer that I made yesterday. And there's still no response back with that. And in fact, I did call the governor's office. Her first name was Alexis. I did talk to her, had a nice conversation with her, and showed her what the offer was. And frankly, I didn't hear back from her. I have not heard back from her or the governor's office today at all. I don't know if anybody else has. It appeared to me with the 10 minute before the 5 o'clock deadline that I had put on. That doesn't, only means that I put the deadline on, so we could at least digest that with staff during regular hours. It appeared to me that you had not contacted the governor's office at all, and I might suggest that, and do all due respect to the members, we are going to make this happen one way or the other, the members on this committee. However, as you all know, and some of you may or may not know, that the governor's office does play a large role in making these final decisions. And I think in light of the fact that we have these short 3-hour timeframes, we have to get them connected with the governor's office for sure. No final discussions, financials will be discussed, including LCCMR, before the targets are set. We do have money somewhat juggled back and forth in there, as you well know. So the idea that we're gonna settle anything with LCCMR with those dollars adjusted in there, I think is a little bit premature. This offer makes no attempt at offering a compromise that you gave me. I just, I emphasize that Chair Hansen, is this an offer that was worked on in tandem with the administration? I guess I'll ask you that, or is it strictly a House offer?
Senator Ingebrigtsen, it is a House offer. We were in session yesterday. We went into session at 4:30. You provided a letter at somewhat after 3 o'clock in order to try to get that done. I was in contact with members of the administration, but not all of them. And so we went forward with a House offer. And as I mentioned before, the legislature, so I want to be clear because I think you merged a couple things there. We were saying the fiscal items that are the general fund would be deferred. But today, our offer was to solve the LCCMR, the 2020 and the 2021, and take those off the table. And they would be done. That was our offer, to work on that we're ready to work today to get those done. And then we would have, frankly, 2 accomplishments that I think would be great if we could get those done. So that is, I hope that answers your question. It is a House offer. And that was why we did it that way.
And so Representative Hansen, you're willing to agree that the LCCMR stays in the bill moving forward? The LCCMR appropriations for both years?
Senator Ingebrigtsen, if we could get that done today, I'm ready to work, and if we kept it in the bill. If you want to, I mean, I think we could come to an agreement today relatively quickly. If that's what it takes for it staying in the bill, if we work out the differences today, I'm okay with it staying in the bill. I'd prefer that we kick it out, with an agreement, but I think we're not that far apart on LCCMR, and I think we could demonstrate to Minnesotans that we got a couple things done. I agree with you. Time is short. So what I'm saying kick it out is if we can get those agreements today, then we've got those done, and then we work on the other articles in the next few days.
Well, it's very clear that your proposal says to pass the language separately, so I'm very concerned about that. I have had discussions with my committee members before the meeting, and we're not in agreement at all to separate this from the bill. We are in agreement certainly to get it done. So I guess I'll have to have that in a proposal of some sort. But I think, quite frankly, you can do a little better on your offer here, and I have to have some discussions with my committee, as well as I think you do, as with the governor's office. I would appreciate hearing from them. I worked last time in tandem with the governor's office, and again, that's not dissing any members on our side or your side. With all due respect, I just think that they have to agree, because without them involved, it really does slow the process down. One would think the other way, but it doesn't.
Senator Ingebrigtsen, if you want to take a recess and talk to your members and then come back and and we work on the LCCMR and we get that done, then again we've got that accomplishment. And if we get that done, then we could include it in the bill. So I'll just throw that out there. If I'm willing to get whatever it takes to get that done.
Yeah, we have to have some form of compromise, Representative Hansen, and there just isn't any here in the offer that's substantive. So what I'm going to need to do, and what I'm going to ask you to do, to have it put in writing, and until that point, we can't move forward. I mean, you understand the process better than I. You've been working together and working together to compromise, and we will be in, actually, we're going to adjourn the meeting until, for the day, awaiting your proposal. So with that, members, anything else?
Well, Senator Ingebrigtsen, I'm disappointed. Frankly, not surprised, but I'm disappointed. I've just committed to you and all the Minnesotans that we'd be willing to work on the LCCMR provisions. Those are constitutionally dedicated funds that were voted on by the people of Minnesota. And I think we owe it to them to get those resolved.
And quite frank, go
And
ahead.
we're, you know, we will have the gavel tomorrow, and we will convene. But I would hope you'd reconsider, and we could try to get this done.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. However, I must say that those that are listening, and those committee members that know very well, in fact, there's 2 or 3 committee members on my conference committee that sit with you on co-chair and chairing the LCCMR, and all these provisions have been talked about. In fact, there's 3 of us, myself, Westerman, and Senator Thomasoni, that are on that committee. So those bills, as far as I am concerned, have already been discussed. And I know you spent all day yesterday going through that with your committee. But that doesn't change the fact that, you know, that stuff has been all done. That's what we have committees for. The LCCMR committee, no different than Legacy Committee. They bring a lot of good work to the legislature. Now, they are, as we all know, just a committee for recommendations. Not everything is agreed upon. I will say that almost 100% of the second year is agreed upon, as you well know. So really, that wouldn't have taken any time yesterday. However, the first one, the 2000, what we call 20, we do have some concerns there. And when you make some kind of an offer moving forward, we'll discuss those. I'll be very open to doing that. But you have to show some movement. You have to show some decent compromise, and not just process. We have to move faster than that. So with that, members, we're adjourned.